Hey everyone, Internet Vicious Book Reader here. Today I want to talk about How to Kill Your Family by Bella Mackie. The book is actually the author's confession on how she killed her entire family. Oh wait, that's the wrong book. The book tells the story of the fictional character Grace Bernard. It opens with Grace already in prison with this kind of opening. Limehouse prison is, as you might imagine, horrible. Except maybe you can imagine it. Not really. There are no games consoles and flat screen TVs, as you surely have read about in the newspaper. It set the vibe of the story perfectly, I think. Prison, and it's not that serious. We met with her prison roommate Kelly, and from her we know that what Grace did is considered as top tier crime in the prison that has gained her enough infamy to have fans and haters. But Grace didn't do the crime that put her in prison. No, she did worse. She killed her entire family, and no one knew. We then move back to the beginning to Grace's flight to Marbella, Spain, in order to execute her first kill, her grandparents. Their grandparents who now live in Spain is the type of parents that shielded their kid from any responsibilities. Instead of teaching their son Simon, Grace's father, to face the consequence of his mistake from making Grace's mother pregnant with her, they make excuses for him. Like, Simon made a foolish mistake, like many young people do. And that girl tried to ruin my son for money. And because of that, they will be the ones that needs to be taken out first. When Grace was much younger, her mother raised her alone for a short time, before she passed to the sickness that made Grace had to learn to dissociate from a young age, which is why she can do some of the brutal murders that she does in the story. She also found some past memory of her mother's past with her father and their family, which only stoked the anger inside of her even further and pushed her even deeper to hate. And that's how the storytelling went. It goes back and forth between future Grace who is in prison and younger Grace that's on the path of killing her family for what happens to her and her mother to give more context on why she started her murder spree. A lot of the decisions made in the storytelling I think doesn't work for the story. For example, the alternating timeline storytelling. While it works to add breaks into the story so it doesn't just fill with murders after murders so it feels less monotone, but it also made the other characters besides Grace not fleshed out in the story at all because there's really no moment to define them as characters. Mostly they're just introduced through exposition and then we have to move on to the next bit of the story. So besides Grace, other characters really feel like they does not matter and the story feels weaker as a result. And to make it worse for the book, I've actually been lying about two alternating timelines. There are three timelines that we alternate as we go along. One is when Grace is in prison for reasons that is obtusely mysterious for no reason. Two is the timeline of her trying to murder her family. And three is her tragic backstory for when she grew up from a child into the serial murderer later on. There's just too much going on, and some of them feel like they're just tacked on for no reason, especially the one where she's already in prison. There really is no reason why we have to get an update every chapter on what she's doing in prison when it's mostly just goes, here she is, still in prison. And then it went right back to when she started murdering her own family, all the while doing things that the established younger self her would never do, like writing what is basically a confession of all her murders in detail. Somehow the character assassination, where a written character did something out of the norm, without any good explanation, is happening in real time along with the other timeline. I guess it's unique in a way. And then because the author tried too hard to make the murders look like set pieces that is so different from each other, it makes the murdering part filled with so much plot convenience. I thought I was reading some wish fulfillment fantasy manhwa. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if Grace started seeing status window at some point of the story. The first murder is in a gated community but in Spain. The second one is in a sanctuary for frogs. The third one is in an exclusive sex dungeon. The fourth one is in an exclusive sauna, and so on. Despite the campiness set from the start of the story, it still did not manage to overcome how convenient that every murder she does just happens to be very unique and specific skin. There's campy and there's bad writing, and this feels more like bad writing. After all, this is not Hitman, the game where Agent 47 had to take out different contracted targets in different states. This is a poor girl raised by a single mother that wanted revenge for herself. At this point while reading, instead of enjoying the story, I'm kinda dreading the ending. I kept thinking, please, at least let the events not be it's all in the head of the main character, because that would be just lame. Only slightly ahead of actually she's in prison because her last target was there kinda lame. But thankfully, the book didn't go there. and made the reason for her to go to prison slightly more different than usual. Which is not that much of a good thing because the resulting event is also not better, with her only friend that wanted to put her in prison suddenly apologizing and wanting to keep in touch. I don't think that's how it goes in any universe. You don't just try to actively put someone in prison and then goes, "Oh, sorry about that. I guess drinks will be on me later for a while." I cannot imagine how awkward that friendship will be for the rest of their life. The way she goes to prison and the evidence that made her go out is also as worse as the murder that has been happening. Suddenly it happens that there's a hidden CCTV from the neighbor that so happened to record the victim dying moment where she was out of frame. Oh, what a convenient coincidence. I wonder if there's any term for that I've used in this video. Oh yeah, plot convenience. Then as if it's not bad enough, the ending is kinda ass. It's a plot twist that was not set up properly. Just a warning here that I will slightly spoil the end part of the book. Okay, the ending when there's a hidden evil twin that is eviler than the main character. It's so dumb. We never see him all this time, and we also never see him until the end of the book. It's all just through letter where we don't even get to see Grace's reaction to the letter because it's cut to black. Oh, and just for the heck of it, Kelly, the nice girl from prison at the start I mentioned, is all in on it, and she's not actually a nice girl. But you did not see that coming because it was never set up properly. It really felt like the character was placed at the last minute because the author cannot think how to end the story. But instead of a climax, it felt more like a balloon that deflated by making a whimper. A lot of the stuff that happens at the end of the book is very BBC Sherlock Holmes, where the show just pulls things out of nowhere to conclude the story. And as a result, the story really feels like it is written. None of it feels like an event that you can believe in. It also makes no sense that the two characters we know nothing about and everyone else was fooled. This is one of those writing where in an attempt to make some characters smarter, everyone else in the story needs to be much more stupid. It's really unfortunate because there are actually some good writing in here. Here's a couple of lines that I really enjoy from the book. "There needs to be different and interesting marks them out as neither. Dissatisfaction is currency in a way that kindness is not." But unfortunately, a lot of the book feels unnecessary. While it is an interesting attempt at narrative subversion from the usual child abandoned by their parent and are looking to connect with them, which sometimes can end up like the parents and grandparents in Grace's family, which they are just shitty people that don't really worth your time and effort to reconnect. What the book did instead is make a psychopath and a serial murderer that are somehow boring to read. I think it's trying to go American Psycho with Patrick Bateman even mentioned by name in the book, but Grace is not as interesting as Patrick Bateman or Irina from Boy Parts by Elyssa Clark. It's actually kinda impressive how a story about murdering your entire family can be this boring. Instead of making Grace more psychotic and unlikable, she instead tried to make her more sympathetic. And while it does work at some point because seeing Grace grow up is the most engaging part of the story, but then the other part of the story doesn't work as well. I think if the author just made Grace more psychotic and made her only friend from childhood more psychotic as well, it might make for a more interesting story where the serial murderers are now a couple that brings out the worst in each other. But instead what you got is a soap opera kind of story with random evil twin popping out of nowhere. I give this a 1.25. What do you think? Are you gonna read it? Did I miss anything? Leave your thoughts in the comment below and subscribe to the channel. That's about it.